When I first saw Elspeth, I was at the edge of my village, looking out over the front. 2 distant lines of fire stood out over the evening landscape, like smoldering coals thrown across a dark blanket. Sparks would shoot across the gap between the lines, burning arrows or war mages' spells. I couldn't see individual soldiers, but sometimes I could see blue and red lights circling above the lines. Icyene and demons locked in aerial combat. I've always been told it was impossible to hear the sounds of battle from this distance, but sometimes, when the wind was right, I imagined that I could. The heroic battle cries of our Icyene commanders, the blare of signal trumpets, the savage screams of demons. I was straining to hear the sounds of battle when I noticed the crunch of footsteps on the path leading up to my village's plateau. I watched the bend in the path until the visitors came into view. At first, I thought I was seeing an adult leading a group of children, but then I saw the feathered wings unfolded at the leader's back and realized that he was an Icyene, and what I had taken for children were ordinary-sized humans. There were a dozen soldiers on foot, and one figure riding side saddle on a white horse, a woman wrapped in a gray cloak and clutching something in her arms. At the time, I didn't look twice at her. My eyes went back to the radiant giant leading the group, and Icyene, a holy Icyene of Saradomin, was visiting our village. I ran back to the village hall and breathlessly told Elder Tasgal what I had seen. He looked up from his meal warily, then held out a hand. I passed him his crutch and helped him stand. Tasgal had lost one of his legs at the front 10 years ago. We might as well start rounding people up, he sighed. Elder Tasgal was right. When the Icyene and his party arrived at the village an hour later, and Elder Tasgal met them at the gates, the first thing the winged figure said was, "I am Sergeant Mazakon of the army of Saradomin. Assemble your people in your great hall. We will address your village tonight." The sun had set by the time the village had gathered for the Icyene's presentation. I sat at the front of the crowd, packed next to other youths, anxious to hear what an Icyene from the war would say. He towered over us, the ceiling of the great hall only just high enough for him to stand up straight. His skin was a very dark blue, crisscrossed with scars, but his left arm and left leg were gray-brown and the texture of pottery. "Golem limbs," someone beside me whispered. "They make them in Uzer." "Why doesn't Elder Tasgal have one?" I asked. "Don't be silly," my friend said. "They don't make them for humans." I wondered if Sergeant Mazakon was away from the front because his golem limbs prevented him from fighting. His wings, too, looked crippled. They were huge and impressive, but they never moved, as if the tendons that worked them had been damaged. "People of Saradomin," Mazakon boomed, "I am here to present to you one of your own, a human, though with Icyene blood in her veins, a holy warrior who has slain a dozen of Zamorak's demons, not with a sword or spell, but with her voice. And she is here now to sing of you tales of the war. Ladies and gentlemen, Elspeth of the Cathara." Mazakon stepped aside, and the woman who arrived with him walked to the center of the stage. In her hands, she held an instrument like a lyre or a small harp. She had shed the gray cloak, and beneath it, she wore a white dress cut to show off her figure. There were some catcalls from the audience as she walked forward, but everyone went quiet when she plucked her Cathara and started to sing. Her voice was heartbreakingly beautiful. As soon as she began singing, I was transported to a world of glorious battle, of absolute good vanquishing absolute evil, of Icyene and demons dueling atop the towers of legendary cities, while the joyous army of Saradomin marched forward to victory. Watching the beautiful Icyene-blooded woman, hearing her perfect, piercing soprano voice, I think I fell in love with her right then. I think every young man in the audience did. She sang a song from the point of view of a soldier's sweetheart, how proud she was of her man, and how she knew Saradomin would send him home safely. She sang of a soldier dying on the battlefield, and looking back over his service, thinking how proud he was to be dying for Saradomin rather than growing old. She sang about the Icyene commanders waiting at the front, knowing that they could achieve a decisive victory if only a few more good men came to their aid. "Who will fight with us?" went the refrain, Elspeth's haunting soprano floating above the Cathara's chords. "Who will fight with us today?" "I will fight with you," I shouted, finally breaking the audience's silence. Everyone around me was shouting as well. "I'll fight with you." Sergeant Mazikon returned to the stage, beaming, and beckoned us forward to welcome us into the army of Saradomin. That night was to be the last I'd spend in my own bed before we marched for the front, but I couldn't sleep. I found myself wandering the village, wrapped in a thick coat to protect myself from the chill. The clouds had dispersed, and a gibbous moon flooded the village in ethereal light. Lamplight spilled through the shutters of Elder Tazgal's house. As I walked past, I could hear raised voices coming from inside. I didn't intend to eavesdrop, but the voices were too loud for me not to hear. "You're taking too many, too soon," Tazgal said. "The village won't be able to sustain itself if you steal all our young people." The other voice was Mazikon's. "These youths nobly volunteered to serve Saradomin. Would you deny them their right? Your Icyene-blooded sorceress enchanted them. You should be glad your village is in Saradomin's territory. Do you know the army of Zamorak's recruitment tactics?" Mazikon's authority made Tazgal sound like a child arguing with his elders. "Kidnapping, torture, and brainwashing, I know. I'm grateful to the army of Saradomin, but you think you know better than the Icyene High Command how to use the army's resources?" "I didn't say that," Tazgal said, defeated. But then he blurted, "But what good does sending whole villages to the front do? The lines haven't moved since I fought there." "That's why there are no humans in the High Command," Mazikon said sternly. "You don't live long enough to see the whole picture. The front has moved 20 kilometers south in the last 100 years. Zamorak sends powerful demons to raise every settlement they can reach. If we stop pushing back, Uzur itself could be in danger. Uzur was the pinnacle of our civilization, safe far behind the front. Surely it could never be in danger." The idea shocked me so much that I couldn't hear the footsteps coming towards me on the frosty ground. The first I knew I was not alone was when I felt her hand on my shoulder. I spun around, intensely guilty for having eavesdropped. It was Elspeth, the singer, wrapped once more in her huge gray cloak. "I don't have Icyene blood," she said. "What do you mean?" I asked. Sergeant Mazikon added that part of the story. "People didn't believe that an ordinary human could do the things I had done. I couldn't help staring. For an ordinary human, her beauty was even more exceptional. But the way you sang, I practice a lot. I didn't contradict her. But I knew that no ordinary mortal could have sung the way I heard Elspeth sing. Perhaps she was Icyene-blooded and didn't realize it, or perhaps Saradomin had chosen to bless her with her supernatural voice." Elspeth glanced around. There was no one but the two of us outside. Mazikon and Tazgal were still talking, but their voices were no longer raised. It sounded like Tazgal had seen the folly of arguing with an Icyene and backed down. "Would you like to hear another song?" Elspeth asked. I felt my heart leap in my chest. More than anything, she led me out of the village, to the lip of the plateau where I had first heard her party approaching. There were lights flickering up from part of the front, as if the two smoldering lines were grinding against one another and throwing up sparks like a sword on a whetstone. My heart went out to the brave warriors of Saradomin, fighting in the orange light, and I prayed that they would break through the Zamorakian lines and push the front forward a little way. Elspeth sat on a flat rock near the edge of the plateau, and stroked the strings of her kithara, sending a simple, melancholy tune floating into the night air. When she began to sing, Saradomin forgive me, I forgot all about the front. The song was beautiful, but I didn't understand it. It was a love song, like the first one she had sung to the village. But rather than being off fighting at the front, the singer's beloved was there with her. I wondered if the man had returned from the war, but the second verse mentioned that they had grown up together and never been apart. Then I thought that the song was about someone who realized their duty late in life and went off to war, but it ended with the couple growing old together. There had been no mention of the war, or of Saradomin. The last kithara chord was swallowed by the frosty air, leaving me confused and angry. He didn't go to war, I said. Who would write such a beautiful song about a coward? Elspeth looked hurt, and I regretted my tone of voice, although not my words. He wasn't a coward, she said. That song dates back to before the war. That left me more confused. How could a song date back to before the war? How did you learn it? From an Icyene. I translated it from their language. Icyene and demons live much longer than us. A lot of them remember the time before the war. Then sing it for them. It doesn't mean anything to us. Elspeth hugged her kithara to her chest, drawing away from me. I thought someone might understand. I wanted to say something. The last thing I wanted was for Elspeth to be upset. But then I noticed another sound. It was a high-pitched whistle, a little like the shriek of a bird. It sounded like it was coming from the direction of the front. Shh, what's that? Elspeth's face creased up in despair. It's found us. The sound came closer second by second, and before long I saw its source, an orange spark that grew into a fireball. It looked like it was heading straight for us, but then it shot overhead, bathing us in orange light and heat, nearly deafening me with its horrible cry. There was a crashing sound from the direction of the village. I ran towards home, stumbling in the darkness. I could hear Elspeth running beside me, but I left her behind. I couldn't see what was happening behind the outermost row of houses, but I could hear the shouts and screams, the crashes of collapsing buildings, the inhuman snarls. Sergeant Mazacon's voice boomed out above the carnage. Now is your chance to prove yourselves. Defend your homes. I reached the village gate. 2 houses were burning where the fireball had crashed through them, and by the light of the flames I could see the battle in progress at the other end of the main street. Several of my friends lay dead or dying on the ground, their bodies twisted, gaping wounds glistening in the firelight. Among them lay the bodies of the soldiers who had arrived with Mazakon and Elspeth. The Icyene stood at the far end of the road, bleeding from a gash on his arm but undeterred, an immovable rock of a soldier, blessed by Saradomin with superhuman power. He towered over the burning buildings and swung above his head a sword as large as a man. The creature Mazakon was fighting was too small and fast-moving for me to see clearly. I got an impression of a ball of dark rags, tattered cloth flapping behind it as it leapt and ran. It slashed at Mazakon with long, bloody claws and then jumped back, dodging as the Icyene struck down with his mighty sword. I ran forward and grabbed a sword from beside the body of one of the fallen soldiers, but then, may Saradomin forgive me, I hesitated. I should have thrown myself into the fray. The creature would have killed me in a moment, but that moment might have distracted it from Mazakon and given him a chance to smite it. Mazakon looked in my direction, his eyes furious. The creature's last attack had left 3 wide claw marks across his chest that were gleaming with dark blood. I thought he was going to order me into the fight, but he was looking past me. "Sing, useless human woman," he yelled. "Sing, or Zamorak take you." I spun around. Elspeth was shaking with fear, tears streaming down her face, but she obeyed her sergeant's order and raised her kithara into a playing position. Her fingers plucked the strings and a chord rang out, then another. I recognized the beginning of the first song I had heard her play in the town hall, the one about the young sweetheart waiting for her soldier to return. The monster stopped in its tracks. It let out a piercing howl, as if trying to drown the music out, and then charged straight at Elspeth. I raised the sword. I had failed to defend Mazakon, but perhaps I could stand between the monster and Elspeth. I caught a glimpse of its face. gaunt and skull-like, skin a deep demonic red, eyes glowing with Zamarakian rage. It raised its horrible claws. Then Elspeth sang the first words of the song. Her voice trembled at first, but became loud and clear after the first few notes. The demon stopped in its tracks, skidding on the gravel. It howled skywards and covered its ears, its long claws locking into a cage around its head. It was as if the woman from the song were standing there in Elspeth's robes. It was as if her love and her faith projected a barrier that the demon could not cross. The demon was right in front of me. I could feel its heat, smell sulfur on its breath. Beyond it, Mazikon had slumped to his knees, clutching his chest wounds. Without thinking, I stepped forward, bewitched by Elspeth's singing. The demon looked at me, eyes burning. I raised the sword, then the demon hissed and ran off between the houses, stumbling and blundering in the buildings, but moving faster than I could hope to follow. The spell was broken. Elspeth stopped singing, but her hand kept working the string of the kithara, improvising a slow sequence of chords. I could hear the crackle of fire consuming the houses behind me, and the groans of the dying. I ran over to Sergeant Mazikon. He was on his side now, unconscious. His armor was in tatters and drenched in blood. His clay-left arm had been shattered, leaving a stump like a broken pot rim. I wanted to treat him, but I didn't know where to start. Close to, I could see his musculature was entirely different from a human's. "We should get him indoors," Elspeth said over my shoulder. She glanced around, still strumming the kithara. "We should get everyone in the hall. It could come back at any moment." I poked through the ruins, finding the villagers cowering in their homes and telling them to gather in the village hall. People didn't argue. They seemed glad that I was taking charge. Elder Tazgol was dead. I nearly threw up when I saw his body. He'd been sliced clean in half by the demon's claws, his torso and legs lying on opposite sides of his house door, as if he'd made a heroic but futile last stand. Everywhere I looked there were body parts, some so mutilated I couldn't tell what or who they had once been. I found more bodies than survivors, and even those who weren't wounded were terrified, huddled wild-eyes in the ruins of their lives. The village hall was filled with sweat and fear, the heat of the bodies and the fire driving away the chill of the night. Elspeth stood just inside the doors, plucking at the kithara and singing a mournful reprise of her concert from earlier that night. The survivors sat watching her, cradling the children, latching onto her music as the only respite from the horror that had come to our village. She looked radiant, her gray cloak seeming to glow white, and even though her eyes were red with tears, her voice still pure and perfect. No, I can't believe she was merely human. There was Icyene blood in her, whether she knew it or not. She wasn't singing for us, though. I spoke to her in between songs, although she kept plucking at her kithara, never letting the music stop entirely. "I can't stop for long, or it will be back," she said. "What is it?" I asked. "It's the Ripper," Elspeth said, "an assassin demon. Zamorak's army sends them to kill important targets." I glanced at the huge form of Sergeant Mazikon, sprawled out at the back of the hall. Some of the women were tending to him. They had cleaned and bound his wounds, but besides that they told me that there was nothing they could do. His anatomy was alien to them, and what they knew of medicine didn't apply. "Can you drive the Ripper away?" I asked. Elspeth shook her head. "I can keep it at bay, but that's all. We just have to hope Sergeant Mazikon recovers and can think of something." She plucked a series of melancholy chords. "I'm sorry." "What for?" "For bringing this on your village." I thought back to the faces of my dead friends, gruesome in the firelight. "They died for Saradomin," I said. "If they slowed the Ripper down so it didn't kill Sergeant Mazikon, then that was worth it." Elspeth didn't say anything to that. She looked back outside and began singing, this time the song about a soldier dying on the battlefield, having faithfully served Saradomin. In the distance, the howl of the Ripper demon rose to the sky. After a couple of hours, Mazikon stirred, opening his eyes and lifting his remaining arm a few inches. He muttered something through half-closed, blood-encrusted lips. I crouched down close to him, but he was speaking a language that I didn't recognize. I couldn't tell if Mazikon could hear me. He began to sing, his deep voice weak and faltering. The words were in his Icyene language, but after a few notes I recognized the melody. It was the song Elspeth had sung for me on the plateau, just before the disaster struck us. The song from before the war. Halfway through the second verse, Mazacon's voice drifted into silence. His heavy hand slipped through mine and fell onto his wounded chest. He didn't regain consciousness again. An hour later, he was dead. Elspeth barely reacted when I told her. She had been singing and playing constantly for several hours now, and her voice was barely cracking, but her eyes looked half dead. In between songs, she plucked the Cathara mechanically. You should move his voice outside, she said flatly. If the Ripper knows he's dead, hopefully it will leave. I hesitated, struck by the horrible image of the Ripper mutilating Mazacon's wounded corpse. He's an Icyene. He deserves a proper burial. We can bury what's left. Take him outside. It's what he would have ordered. I rounded up a few of the stronger survivors, and we moved the Icyene again, this time hauling him out past where we had fought the Ripper, and as far along the path as we dared. Elspeth walked with us, singing to keep the demon at bay. The Icyene is dead, I shouted into the night. You've completed your mission. Why don't you leave? A distant howl responded, and I ran back to the hall. I stood with Elspeth at the doors and looked down the road. The fires had died down, but I could see Sergeant Mazacon's body in the moonlight. Elspeth was singing quietly, the melody still perfect, but all the emotion long gone from her voice. After a couple of minutes, I saw movement as a dark, rag-wrapped shape rushed to the body from between two houses. There was a sickening crack of tearing flesh and bone, and then the Ripper raised its claws to the sky and let out a blood-chilling howl. Leave us alone, Elspeth whispered tearfully, still plucking cords with trembling fingers. Why can't you leave us alone? The Ripper looked right at us, red eyes smoldering from beneath its ragged cloak. It hissed and began to walk towards us along the road, claws slashing left and right as if cutting through the forest of sound that had been keeping it at bay. What does it want with us? I exclaimed. It's killed its target. No, it hasn't, Elspeth said. Her fingers plucked the same few notes over and over, as if she was no longer thinking about the music. Her eyes widened and her voice trembled, as if a horrible realization was coming over her. It wasn't here for Sergeant Mazzacon. It's here for me. Elspeth stepped across the threshold, out into the street. I stepped in front of her. What are you doing? I can't sing forever. If it kills me, it might spare the rest of your village. She tried to walk past me, but I moved in front of her again. I can't let you do this. Please, let me come with you. Let me fight it for you. She shrugged, as if she didn't have the will left to argue. Elspeth and I walked to where Mazzacon's body lay on the village path, our feet crunching on the frosty gravel. Elspeth held her Cathara under her arm, although she had stopped playing. I carried the sword I had taken from the dead soldier. The Ripper hissed and stood upright, stretching its massive claws out on either side. There was a stench of blood. Mazzacon's body was a mutilated mess, and blood dripped from the monster's claws. I could hear my heart pounding in my chest, but this time I was not paralyzed with fear. I would like to say that my faith in Saradomin sustained me, but in that moment, I think it was Elspeth who kept me moving. I would fight for her. If the demon wanted to kill her, it would have to get through me first. I let out an inarticulate cry and ran at the demon. It snarled, and then pain erupted in my leg as I was thrown aside. I heard a crack of bone. I tried to lift myself, but I couldn't. The demon had swiped at me with the back of its claw. I wasn't badly bleeding, but my legs were broken. The sword lay on the ground out of my reach. I could only watch as Elspeth stepped forward and the demon turned its attention to her. She plucked her Cathara. The Ripper raised its claws, but then she started to sing. The Ripper recoiled, clutching its ears. Elspeth's voice was tired and cracked, but still achingly beautiful, making me forget my pain. She was singing a familiar tune in a strange language. It was the same thing that Sergeant Mazaccon had sung in his delirium, the Icyene love song from before the war. The Ripper let out a moan, a very human-sounding cry of anguish. It lowered its claws and cocked its head to one side. It was listening, I realized. Listening as if the song awoke some wholesome memory in its evil Zamorakian heart. Elspeth's voice was rising to a climax. I heard the tune enough times now to know what was coming. Her voice would soar in long, high notes above a complex Cathara melody. The Ripper also seemed to know what was coming. It rose in anticipation. The spell broke, as if the Ripper's bestial nature had won out over whatever emotions Elspeth's singing had triggered in its heart. It lunged forward, grabbing Elspeth in one claw and ran the other through her chest. Her Cathara fell to the ground. But somehow, she transformed her scream of pain into the song's arching descant, one piercing note that felt like it could stop my heart. With Elspeth in its claws, the demon could not cover its ears. It took that piercing note full in the face. It dropped Elspeth to the ground and staggered back, whimpering. For a moment, it looked at me. The red glow was fading from its eyes. The sun was rising behind me, and in its light, the demon's face looked very human, locked in a mask of anguish, its aggression gone. It clutched its claws to its chest and then bent in on itself and fell forward onto the gravel next to the unmoving form of Elspeth. A few moments later, it smoldered and collapsed into a cloud of sulfur-smelling smoke and a pile of ash. Some of the village women found me and tended my wounds. They set my legs well, and I made a full recovery. The village as a whole was not so well off. We had lost our leader, and every family had lost loved ones. Over the next few months, the survivors traveled to other villages to make new lives, leaving ours a ruin. I buried Elspeth on the edge of the plateau, overlooking the front. I buried her Cathara along with her. It was undamaged, but it didn't seem right to me that anyone but her should play it. I walked towards the front until I found a recruiting post, and joined the army of Saradomin. When the recruiting sergeant interviewed me, I told him the story of Elspeth, and how Saradomin had granted her the strength to sing one final piercing note that struck the demon dead. I told the same story to my squad mates, and to everyone who would listen. It's become a common inspirational tale, passed around from soldier to soldier, the image of the Icyene blooded maiden giving us one hope on the front lines. The officers have picked it up as well, and I've even heard rumors that high command are moving to recognize Elspeth as a saint. That was 5 years ago. I've been on the front for most of that time, and I've seen several assaults, both from our side and from the Zamorakians. The latest Zamorakian assault punched through our lines, moving the front south. My squad retreated without me, thinking I was dead. I'm trapped in a dugout that collapsed under a Chaos Mage's Earth Surge. My legs are broken again, and I know I'll die of thirst before I'm rescued. As I lie dying again, I think back to Elspeth's songs. I can hear her clearly, as if she was in the dugout with me, the rich harmonies of her Cathara underlying her beautiful, holy, triumphant voice. Feebly, I sing along with my memory, but for some reason, it's not the song of the dying soldier that gives me hope in my final moments. It's the song from before the war. Here we are, at the Abbey of St. Elspeth Kitharid. We have some ominous mounds.
Hey, are you going to the Abbey?
The Abbey?
The Abbey of St. Elspeth. It's the only place that path leads. Well, if you're heading to the Abbey, you should keep your ears open. Their music is famous all over the world. I can hear them sometimes, when the wind is right. Times like that, I don't mind I'm not catching any strike worms.
The One Piercing Note quest is fully voice acted and features live recorded music. We suggest that you turn your sound on in order to get the most out of it. And I would like to mention, released in 2011, this was the first quest in RuneScape to be fully voiced and contains a lot of audio. And I'm very excited to get started here.
Sarah Domin, you must be the adventurer the Abbess prayed for.
Yes, I've come to answer your prayers.
Our Abbess prayed for an adventurer to come and help us. She asked me to stand here and wait for you to arrive. Will you help us, adventurer?
I need to know more before I decide.
I don't know anymore. Abbess Benita just said she was praying for an adventurer and told me to wait outside to meet you when you arrived.
Weren't you curious about why the Abbess had you wait here?
Well, I mean a bit, but we're not meant to question the Abbess's decisions.
Has anything unusual happened in the Abbey lately?
Well, one of the older sisters died yesterday. Sarah Domin guide her soul to light. The Abbess says she went peacefully in her sleep. It's a bit odd that no one's been allowed to see her body, but it's not my place to question. Oh, another thing that's happened. A troubadour showed up earlier today. Abbess Benita didn't let him come inside, so he's camping here. We don't often get visitors, so that's a little odd.
Yes, I will most definitely help you. Required items, none. Rewards, quite a lot.
Sarah Domin be praised. The Abbess's office is just inside the wall. Go in through the gate and head north.
Let's enter the Abbey itself. Do have some Kitharid sisters. One of the sisters of Saint Elspeth Kitharid. The very same Elspeth we just learned all about. Here's Abbess Benita.
Adventurer, thanks Sarah Domin you've come.
I won't say that Sarah Domin didn't send me. What can I do to help?
I've called you here for a sensitive task. One that I would prefer to deal with quietly, without involving the church authorities or the Al-Kharid Guard. I hope I can trust you to be discreet.
There's a very interesting mention of the church authorities. As far as I am aware, there isn't really a Vatican equivalent in RuneScape. At least nothing that would make me think of one. I've always figured it was a lot more ecumenical. Something to think about. I don't do discreet goodbye. No, of course.
One of our sisters has been murdered. Murdered quite brutally. I would like you to investigate. The killer may still be in the Abbey. I last saw Sister Anna at Vespers yesterday. When she wasn't present at Compline, I went to her cell and found her body. The murder must have taken place between those times.
Here we have a very important mention of some Christian concepts, specifically in relation to canonical time. Vespers is an evening prayer, and Compline is a night prayer said before the day is concluded. So basically we have sometime between the evening and bedtime is when Sister Anna was murdered. Abbess Benita gives you a key.
This is the key to Sister Anna's cell, where I found her body. The cells are in the southeast corner of the Abbey. I moved Sister Anna's body to the infirmary in the southwest of the Abbey. I cleaned and wrapped it myself, and I've forbidden the other sisters from seeing it. You should also question the sisters around the Abbey, but please do so subtly. I don't want them to know there has been a murder. This notebook will help you keep track of your investigation.
Abbess Benita gives you a notebook.
Come back to me when you've examined the crime scene and the body, and spoken to the sisters.
Alright, let's read this. See if there's anything of interest. May the light of Saradomin and the voice of Saint Elspeth clear your mind and guide you to the truth. Examine the body, search the cell, and question suspects. This gives us all the information that we need. Let's start with the body. You open the wrappings to examine the body. The body has been cleaned and put in burial robes. Any clues that were on her clothing have been lost. The victim's face has been horribly mutilated. The front of the skull has been bludgeoned in, and the skin of the face has been removed. On the back of the head, you find a blunt force wound, as if she was hit by a heavy object. There is a row of 3 deep stab wounds in the victim's chest, one of them piercing her heart. The victim's feet have been heavily mutilated. Several toes have been cut off. Looks like that's all we can get from the infirmary. Surgical equipment in good condition. Good for them. Let's see, where are the cells? Nothing in the footlocker. Nothing in the drawers. And the bed? Aha! You find a fragment of cloth under the bed. It looks like it has been torn from a larger piece of clothing. The material doesn't match the Kitharid sisters' habits. We can investigate the window. The window is broken, but there is no broken glass inside the cell. It looks like it has been broken from the inside. Here's Katharina again from earlier. Let's speak with her.
Hello again, adventurer. How can I help?
Where were you between Vespers and Compline yesterday?
I was in the scriptorium, copying a manuscript. I'm still learning how to illuminate the text. I've copied nearly the whole of the Book of Saradomin. I'm quite... well, I know I shouldn't be, but I'm quite proud of it. Perhaps you'd like to see it, after the funeral service, if you're still here.
I would like that. I think it is important to be proud of the works you do.
All right. I'll have to check if that's allowed, though. Come back and speak to me after the funeral.
What do you think of Sister Anna, the deceased?
She was so holy. She thought about Saradomin all the time, never about herself. I don't know if I'll ever be as holy as that. She interviewed me when I applied to join the Abbey. It was like she could see right into my heart. To be honest, at first, she frightened me. I'm not surprised the other applicant left after she met her.
What other applicant?
Oh, another applicant came to the Abbey the other day. Her name was Isabella. She disappeared yesterday noon. She probably went home. A lot of applicants realize the life isn't for them and leave. Adventurer, if I can ask, why are you asking these questions?
I'm not allowed to tell you. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked. I'll never be a full sister if I keep asking questions like that. Sister Anna always told me I shouldn't ask questions. Is there anything else I can do for you, adventurer?
What a nice place. What do you know about the troubadour outside?
It's so exciting that he's come to visit us. I saw him smiling at me when I was outside waiting for you.
Oh, I'm sure he was.
I kind of wish I could go out and dance. I used to like dancing, but I'm in the Order now, and dancing isn't allowed.
We can't ask about that, though I think it is kind of interesting that they express themselves through music, but they do not allow for dancing. Goodbye. Sister Cecilia.
Look at me! Look at me! Okay, that's good. Remember to look at me so you can keep in time. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't... Ladies, keep rehearsing while I talk to this pilgrim.
What are you rehearsing?
It's a hymn to Saint Elspeth. I wrote the music, but the words are traditional. Do you know the story of Saint Elspeth and the Ripper?
Oh, yes, I do. I'm curious how she tells it. Could you tell me?
Saint Elspeth was a holy warrior who lived during the God Wars. She sang and played the cithara, and her music was so holy that no demon could bear to hear it.
That's certainly a way to pronounce it. I looked up the pronunciation earlier, and being Greek, I was very much confident in pronouncing it Cathara. I believe I will continue to do so. What is a Cathara?
Oh, it's an ancient stringed instrument. It's like a lyre. The lyre was a folk instrument, whereas the cithara was a professional instrument. Well, anyway, that's not important. The Ripper was an assassin demon. It would strike without warning and leave its victims horribly mutilated. Stab them through the heart with terrible claws, tear off their faces. Zamorak sent the Ripper to attack a village where Saint Elspeth was staying. It couldn't approach while she was singing, but it waited on the edge of the village. She sang for days, but eventually was too weak to go on. She went out of the village to face the demon alone. She thought it might just kill her and spare the villagers. She fought the demon, and it mortally wounded her. But as she was dying, Saradomin granted her the strength to sing one piercing note so perfect that it struck the demon dead. Her remains lay unburied until the present age. Then, 70 years ago, a group of holy women found them and built this abbey in her memory. That's why music is such an important part of our worship.
Could the Ripper demon come back?
I don't know. They say some demons can return after being killed, but the God Wars were thousands of years ago.
Can your music repel demons?
Well, I'd like to think so, but I don't think we're as holy as Saint Elspeth. I hope we never have to find out.
Back to my other questions. Where were you between Vespers and Compline yesterday?
I stayed in here after Vespers to rehearse the choir.
And what did you think of Sister Anna?
She had a powerful voice and a rock-solid sense of rhythm. The whole congregation could listen to her to keep in time. Oh, I'm sorry she's dead, and all I can think of is how much the choir needed her. I'm too single-minded sometimes. I think she kept us in time in more ways than one, though. She was our moral center, an example of holiness. We all miss her terribly.
Finally, what do you know about the troubadour outside?
I'm aware he's there. I think the abbess was right to forbid him from coming inside. You've got to understand, the Citharid order considers music to be holy. It should be used for worship and contemplation, not for dancing. Dancing is so often connected with other immorality. As interesting as it would be to hear a different style of music, I should stay away.
How stunningly Victorian. Goodbye. Let us speak with Elena next.
What is it?
What are you cooking?
Cabbage soup. It's amazing what you can do with cabbages if they're all you have to cook with.
Oh, I'm sure.
Do you have an important question, adventurer? I'm quite busy.
Yes. Where were you between Vespers and Compline yesterday?
I was here in the kitchen. Why? Where should I have been? I went down to the cellar to get some supplies at one point, but the rest of the time I was here. Actually, I noticed something when I was down there. I think someone's been stealing food from the cellar. I bet it was Katerina. Novices have to be taught discipline. I've seen her sneaking an extra cup of wine at meal times. She's the one you should be talking to.
What did you think of Sister Anna?
She's with Saradomin now. It doesn't matter what I thought of her, and it does no good to speak ill of the dead.
Sounds like you didn't like her.
I didn't say that, but she did cause conflict. Most of the sisters didn't see it, but I did. She was always arguing with the abbess.
Arguing about what?
Sister Anna thought Sister Benita was too lenient with the Order's rules. Anna would have enforced silence outside of services. She'd have stopped Sister Cecilia composing, prescribed melodies only. Maybe it's Saradomin's will that Sister Anna never got to become abbess. I don't know. It's not my place to say.
Finally, what do you know about the troubadour outside?
I don't know anything about the troubadour. I didn't even know he was there. What troubadour? Secular music is forbidden. So, if there is a troubadour outside, then Abbess Benita will send him away. I don't have time to talk about troubadours. Is there anything else you need?
No, I think that's it. Let's see. From here, I believe we head into the clock tower. Ah, yes. Let's talk to some feet.
Sister Katerina, is that you?
No, I'm an adventurer.
It's no good, Katerina. I can't hear you. I'll be out of here in a minute. Just need to get the, Could you do me a favor, Katerina? The clock is 20 minutes past right now. Could you set it to the right time?
Yes, I'm sure I could. "20 minutes fast."
Ah, no, that's wrong. Sorry, should have reminded you. Remember, you're seeing the clock from the inside, so it's back to front from your point of view. Try again. Ah, yes, that's it. Ah, you've set the clock to the hour, so any moment now it should...
Right, I'm done.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I thought you were Sister Katerina. She's normally the one who comes up here. What can I do for you?
Where were you between Vespers and Compline yesterday?
Huh? Between what and what?
Between Vespers and Compline.
Oh, I came back up here, tried to finish this set of repairs. I was a clockmaker before I joined the Abbey. Now I'm the only one who knows how to repair the Abbey clock.
And what did you think of Sister Anna?
A part breaks that you'd expect it to hold for years. But that doesn't stop the whole mechanism. It just sets it in a different direction. Sarah Domin is a better clockmaker than us.
What do you mean?
Sister Benita was planning to retire as abbess next year. Everyone expected Sister Anna to become the new abbess. But it seems that wasn't Sarah Domin's plan, so he's taken her away. The clock runs, just not as we'd expected.
Seems like a very harsh way of handling that. What can you tell me about the troubadour outside?
What? There's a Minotaur outside? Have we closed the gates?
No. A troubadour.
Oh, yes. Sister Katerina mentioned something about that. She seemed very excited. I'm too busy with the clock to worry about visitors. It's not like I could hear his music anyway. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm a bit deaf. It's spending all my time close to the bell when it goes off that did that.
Yeah, that would do it. Oh, I think we've gotten all of our... I think we've gotten all of our suspects spoken with. Actually, we've not spoken with the troubadour himself. Here we have Valerio.
Greetings, traveler.
What were you singing about?
It's a song about someone I knew a long time ago.
You were singing about Sister Anna, weren't you?
I was. I knew her before she joined the Abbey. I tried to talk her out of coming here, but when she made her mind up about something, there was nothing that could stop her.
What were you doing at the Abbey? Or what are you doing at the Abbey, even?
One of the sisters here, Sister Anna, she passed away recently. I knew her before she joined the Abbey, so I've come to pay my respects.
How did you hear about her death?
I had my ear to the ground. Even a religious order isn't completely cut off from the world.
Where were you between Vespers and Compline yesterday?
Or yesterday evening I was in Al-Qarid. I didn't travel up here until this morning. Why are you asking all this anyway? What's going on here?
I cannot tell you. Very, very sorry.
To Zamrak with you. The abbess can order her sisters not to be curious, but not me. Anna was my friend, and I have a right to know what's happening. This conversation is over.
Oh dear. You seem to have upset him. Alright, let us return to Abbess Benita.
Please help us, adventurer. You'll need to examine Sister Anna's body, search her cell, and question the sisters in the Abbey.
Let's ask her some questions. Where were you between Vespers and Compline?
You're not suspecting me, are you?
Oh, I wouldn't
Very well.
possibly doubt it.
I suppose it is good that you're thorough. I was here in my office. You might be surprised how much paperwork is involved in running a religious order.
You'd be surprised at how little I'm surprised. Tell me more about Sister Anna.
I've never seen anyone as devoted to Sarah Domin as Sister Anna was. All the other sisters looked up to her. I don't know much about her life before the Abbey. All she told me was that she'd led a highly immoral life, and she was glad she'd put it behind her. She was my assistant. She would have been my successor when I eventually retired, and she was also my friend. Please, adventurer, bring her killer to justice.
I'll do the best I can. Tell me about this troubadour.
I don't know what he's doing here. I haven't allowed him into the Abbey. The sisters are rehearsing Sister Anna's funeral. The last thing we need is a secular musician tempting them away from their duties.
Well, I think it's as much as we'll get out of her. I ask about anything I found. Do you recognize this cloth fragment?
It's not from any of our robes. It looks like it's from some traveling clothes.
Tell me about the applicant who was here yesterday. Isabella, I think her name was.
Her name was Isabella. She was here for a few days. Sister Anna and I both interviewed her. She wasn't allowed to mix much with the other sisters. She stayed in the applicant dormitory, which is directly to the west of this room.
Did she now?
It's not unusual for a woman to decide this life isn't for her. We don't pass judgment if someone doesn't say goodbye.
Is it true that you argued with Sister Anna?
I wouldn't say we argued. We disagreed about certain theological issues. We had many invigorating discussions that I suppose an eavesdropper could mistake for arguments.
With that, let's check in this applicant's dormitory. Underneath a bed in the dormitory, we discovered another fragment of cloth. That's annoying. Nothing new from Sister Benita. She says the same thing for the first cloth fragment. I finished investigating for now.
Whom do you suspect?
After reviewing all of the evidence, I can confidently say that I have no idea. I don't know who did it.
Did you hear that?
I did.
Quick! Follow the sound of that scream!
Okay. Something has happened. Scream from the east. A door is stuck. Elena is missing. Not Elena, Cecilia is missing.
You've got to protect us! The demon is back!
What's happening here? Oh, great Saradomin! Sister Eleanor!
I saw it, Abbess! It was the demon! It was the Ripper!
Sister Cecilia, go back to the oratory. Get yourself cleaned up. Adventurer, there's no point in my trying to keep this from the sisters anymore. I'll let them know what's happening. Please, Adventurer. Investigate Sister Eleanor's murder, then talk to me in my study.
Quite the interesting development. Sister Elena has in fact been murdered as well. The stains are a mix of blood and red wine. It looks like the victim was carrying a barrel of wine when she was attacked. The arrangement of the stains suggests that the victim was murdered close to the reliquary, and the body moved to its present position after death. An urn? Decorative urn. An ornate box containing the remains of St. Elspeth Kitharid. Some of the robes are off their hooks and crumpled at the bottom of the cabinet, and others are pushed aside, as if someone was hiding in the cabinet recently. Ah. Body. You bend down to examine the still warm body of Sister Elena. There are cuts on the body's arms and hands, and several bloody stab wounds in her torso. It looks as if she struggled, and the killer stabbed her several times before finally hitting her heart. The face is intact, with none of the facial mutilations you found on the first body. The feet have several deep scratch marks, but are not as heavily mutilated as those of the first body. On the back of the head, you find a blunt force wound, as if she was hit by a heavy object. It was a glancing blow, as if the killer had attempted to knock the victim out, but missed. I suspect that is as much as we will get from here. Though we do actually have this other room. No, there's nothing else in the cellar. Well, Abbess, I guess you're innocent.
Adventurer, thank Saradomin you're still here. Please tell me you're making some progress.
Well, some. I have finished. Ooh, no, I need the key to Sister Elena's cell. Why, thank you. Let's go take a look over there. Here we are in Sister Elena's cell. You find a bundle of letters under the bed. The bundle contains a series of increasingly steamy love letters addressed to Sister Elena. The most recent is dated a day before Sister Anna's death, and says that Elena's lover will visit that night. Several of the letters mention a secret passage in the kitchen that Sister Elena used to smuggle her lover into the Abbey. The letters are signed Valerio. Well, Elena, you are not quite the prim, perfect sister you were hoping you were to be seen as. The sacks are stacked to hide a hole in the bottom of the well, large enough for a person to squeeze through. It looks like the sacks have been disturbed recently. My oh my. Yes, indeed. There's a hole right in that wall. Let's go, speak with Valerio about all this. I see Sister Katharina is having some fun.
Adventurer.
I thought your order forbade dancing.
It's all right. I'm just a novice. I haven't taken vows. I'm not allowed. Anyway, I think I might leave the order. I haven't decided yet. With what's happening, it makes me think about how I want to spend my life. And I love Saradomin, and I love the order, but I don't think I want to spend my whole life not dancing. Come on, adventurer. Dance with me for a while.
I think I'll pass. Have fun, though.
Oh, all right. See you later, adventurer.
Now, Monsieur Valerio, what do you have to say about all this?
Greetings, traveler.
Were you having an affair with Sister Elena?
I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you asking this?
I have letters from you in Sister Elena's cell.
I didn't write any letters. They must be from someone else.
Valerio, Sister Elena is dead.
Elena is dead? She wasn't happy. She could have been so much more if she had the courage to leave. I met her when she came down to Alcaret to buy supplies. We started writing to one another, hiding letters with boxes of food. I came up to see her last night. There was a hole in the kitchen wall that she used to smuggle me in. That's how I learned that Anna had died. Elena told me. I wanted to publicly pay my respects, so I snuck back to Alcaret and came here with my band. Adventurer, you don't think Elena could have been killed because of me? Both the victims were people I knew. Could someone have found the letters? If there's anything I can do to help bring this killer to justice, let me know.
I do not think Valerio killed Anna and Elena. I will let you know. Whew. Let's go check on Cecilia, if she's available. Oh, she does not look well.
We're all going to die. It's going to kill us all. There's no escape.
Can you tell me exactly what happened?
I heard the scream. I heard Sister Eleanor screaming. So I went down the stairs to see, and it was there! The Ripper! just like in the stories. It was wrapped in rags and it had its huge claws and it was bending over Sister Eleanor. It was cutting her feet with its claws. Why would it do that? Then it saw me. It turned its head. It looked at me. I couldn't see its face, thanks Saradomin. If I'd seen its face, I think I might have died of fright. It pushed past me. It splashed Sister Elena's blood onto my robes. And then it ran up the stairs and away. We can't let it defeat us. Almighty Saradomin, give me the strength to not be afraid. All right, ladies. The Abbess told you what happened. This funeral service will be for 2 of us now. We're going to trust Saradomin, and we're not going to be afraid. We're going to sing like Saint Elspeth, and the demon isn't going to be able to hurt us. Okay, from the top. Look at me.
Well, Benita.
Adventurer, thanks Saradomin you're still here. Please tell me you're making some progress.
Well, I could say who it's not. Do you think this is the work of a demon?
I know that's what most of the sisters think, but I'm not so sure. In this age, most of Zamorak's servants are ordinary humans.
Oh, I can dispute that. I want to ask about something I found. Did you know Sister Elena was having an affair?
Oh, I thought that was over.
Over?
A few months ago, Sister Anna brought me a stack of letters she'd found in Sister Eleanor's room. She was furious. Sister Anna wanted to expel Sister Eleanor, but I decided to give her a second chance. She appeared contrite. As long as she stopped seeing Valerio, I said she could stay in the Abbey. It looks like Sister Anna was right. If Sister Eleanor were still alive, I suppose I would have to expel her. As it is, the other sisters don't need to know.
All right. There is a hole in the kitchen wall. I promise I didn't make it.
A secret passage? That could be how the killer got away after murdering Sister Eleanor. Thank you, adventurer. I'll have the passage blocked immediately.
I believe that's as much as we can get out of her. I think I've finished investigating.
Whom do you suspect?
I don't know.
Your reluctance to jump to conclusions is admirable, adventurer. I wouldn't want to accuse someone before we're absolutely sure. Whoever the killer is, I'm worried that they'll strike again. I want to make sure that all the sisters are safe in the Abbey. Sister Katerina is outside dancing. I don't want to pass judgment on her, not now. But I think she'd be safer inside. Could you go and fetch her, please?
Katharina, I have terrible news.
Dance with me, adventurer.
Abbess Benita asked me to bring you back into the Abbey.
All right. I should finish copying my book of Saradomin. I'll be in the scriptorium if you want to talk to me.
The portcullis is far too large to open by hand. There must be a mechanism nearby that will open it. Indeed, we can see the chain coming up to the left here. Well, Valerio, that's 3 for 3. So I must say, I'm very impressed.
It's no good. She's dead. It pierced her heart. Good night, sweet thing. You could have been a dancer.
What was that sound? Adventurer? Oh, merciful Saradomin. Sister Katerina, is she...
I'm afraid so.
This must end. Adventurer, Troubadour, please meet me in my office. We need a plan.
You bend down to examine the still warm body of Sister Katharina. There are stab wounds through the chest, one of them piercing the heart. They match the wounds on the first and second bodies. The face is intact, with none of the facial mutilations you found on the first body. The victim's feet have shallow scratches, as if the killer wanted to mutilate them, but didn't have the time to do a thorough job.
The killer is going to strike again, unless we catch them.
I'm not a member of your order, Abbess. I don't know why you would trust me here.
All the sisters of my order are suspects. The two of you are the only people I have seen in the same place as the killer, so you are the only people I can trust. I will not let this defeat us. We must arrive at a plan. Adventurer, after all you've seen, whom do you now suspect?
Well, things are getting pretty confusing. I have not the faintest.
Then we will need to catch the killer without knowing who they are. What can we do?
I think we should lay a trap. Or we could just kill everyone and let Saradomin sort it out. We should lay a trap.
That could work. But how would we bait it?
A new victim.
That could tempt the killer out. But who? I don't think the killer is indiscriminate. What do the victims so far have in common?
Well, again, Valerio is 3 for 3 right now. They were all associated with Valerio.
I know about your involvement with Sister Eleanor, and perhaps the killer could have seen Sister Katerina dancing and thought that. But what about Sister Anna? She hadn't left the Abbey for years.
Ah, you do not know. I knew Anna many years ago. She was a dancing girl, part of the troupe that I joined when I was first a troubadour. Back then she was so full of life, passionate. Everything she did, she threw her whole body and soul into it. Then, when we met that traveling creature and she caught religion, she threw her whole body and soul into that as well. We wrote to one another at first and...
She never mentioned you to me. All she would say was that her past life was sinful, and she wanted to put it behind her.
Yes, that was the impression I got from her last letters. When I met Eleanor in Al-Qarid and started seeing her, we had to keep our affair secret, so I couldn't see Anna. I wanted to. A part of me was always hoping she'd discover us.
Enough! We don't need to go through the sordid details. We've established a connection. But how does it help us?
I have a dancing girl traveling with me. If we were to announce that she was joining the Abbey...
I can't allow her to be put in danger. There must be another way.
She will be in no danger. She will be hiding in my camp. We can make a dummy, dress it in your robes, and our adventurer can hide nearby and wait. But I'm not sure where.
In the basement. During the funeral service, all the sisters will be in the oratory. It will be the perfect time for the killer to strike. It seems we have a plan. Valerio, you and I can handle the announcement. Adventurer, you will need to make the dummy in the basement. Once you're ready, you can hide in the robe cabinet and wait. Whether this killer be demon or mortal, I swear they will not kill again. Saradomin, go with all of us.
So on the way to the cellar, we pick up a cabbage, we go to the northeast corner of the abbey, and we climb down the stairs into the cellar. We move a candelabrum, place a cabbage onto it, and we take the robes from the robe cabinet and use them on the cabbage on candelabrum. It now looks convincing enough from a distance. The robe cabinet looks like the perfect place to hide and wait for the killer to strike.
I can see her dancing barefoot, there are flowers in her hair. I remember like I saw it yesterday.
We managed to get out of that with full health remaining. Sister Cabbage is unfortunately dead as well.
I can see her dancing barefoot, there are flowers in her hair. I remember like I saw it yesterday. To the sound of flutes and drums, she took my hand and danced with me, and we kept dancing once the music went away. She is dancing in the stillness to the beat of unseen drums, and she's dancing in the city and the crowd. And she's dancing on the mountain, and there's snowflakes in her hair. And
Stay back! Make any move and I'll kill her!
Who do we have here? Not a demon, but someone very, very human. Who are you?
I am the spirit of St. Elspeth, Saradomin's voice of justice!
It's Sister Anna! She's gone mad!
Sister Anna? But you're dead. Unfortunately, the body of Sister Anna, the one missing its face, was very much not Anna. The body I found.
Was that unrepentant dancing girl who thought she could join the Abbey? I killed her and dressed her in my robes.
Why did you kill all of those people?
They were all dancers! They weren't worthy to be in this Abbey. Saint Elspeth commanded me to remove them.
You were a dancer too once.
I was repentant. That's the difference. I spent my whole life in penitence for the sins of my youth. And now Abbess Benita lets any dancing girl join the Abbey. Lets them go outside and dance when a troubadour arrives. Turns a blind eye to their affairs.
You were jealous of Elena and Valarian.
He means nothing to me. That part of my life is gone.
You are much more like the Ripper than Saint Elspeth.
Spawn of Zamorak! Demons and saints look the same to those whose eyes are blinded by evil.
You are insane.
My mind has never been so clear. I burn with the holy fire of Saradomin.
Listen, can you hear the singing?
I can hear it. The choir.
They all loved you. The sisters and Valeria.
They all loved me. No. Worldly attachments, worldly loves must all be burned away. I am the spirit of Saint Elspeth.
Now she's talking to a creature, he says dancing is a sin. And now I
Enough talk. A bit unintuitive. We climbed down the stairs, brought straight to the bottom, climb up the stairs again, not all the way but twice, to the bell system, and just as we did earlier,
Stay back! Make any move and I'll kill her!
listen, is that the bell ringing? And now, weaponless? You seem to be safe now.
Good thinking, adventurer.
You moved pretty quickly.
Perhaps Saradomin gave me strength.
Are you alright?
I'm just shaken. I don't normally get that much excitement.
What should we do with Anna?
As a good Saradominist sister, I cannot take a life. I'll see you downstairs, adventurer.
Goodbye, Deborah. Luckily, I am not bound by such a covenant.
Sister Deborah, she did nothing wrong. I have not been the voice of Saint Elspeth. I have been the hand of the Ripper. Please, adventurer, if you have any mercy, give me a moment to pray for forgiveness before I die.
You may have one moment.
Almighty Saradomin, creator and ruler of the world, have mercy upon me, for I have sinned against thee with my thoughts, with my voice, and with my hands. As the voice of Saint Elspeth struck dead the demon, may it strike dead the evil in my heart. And may the harmony of the saints drown out the discord of my sin. I hear it. The holy choir. I am forgiven. Flights of Icyene lift me up. Saradomin, guide my soul to light.
Well, Benita, I think we're done
Thanks,
here.
Saradomin, it's over, adventurer. Sister Deborah told me what you did, but she didn't say who the killer was. She said you should be the one to tell us.
Who was it? Who killed Anna and the others?
Oh dear. It was Sister Anna.
What?
No, it can't be.
She murdered the applicant and dressed the body in her robes.
But why?
She took her religion too far.
That my most trusted friend could do this, and I had no idea. Thank you for telling the truth, adventurer, but this will shake the faith of everyone in the Abbey. I can't remain as abbess, knowing that this evil could sprout in soil that I have tended. I'll look for a replacement, but I don't know how much longer the Order will survive. I cannot offer you much of a reward, adventurer, but please accept a set of the Order's robes. They are enchanted. Wearing them will allow you to meditate on music in order to grow closer to Saradomin.
And with that, we have completed one of my favorite quests in RuneScape 3. One piercing note. That gives us 2 quest points, 250 prayer experience, the Kitharid robes, which we'll look at in a moment, the Troubadour dance emote, the ability to make illuminated god books with 60 prayer and 60 crafting. If we get enough clue scrolls to get completed god books, this will be very useful later on in the account. Access to the devotion, sacrifice, and transfigure combat abilities. And I don't actually know what those do. Off the top of my head, at least. Devotion allows us to consume some of our adrenaline in combat to increase the effectiveness of our protection prayers to 100%, up from the 50% it usually does, for nearly 10 seconds. Every enemy we kill extends the duration by roughly 5 seconds, up to a maximum of about 20 seconds. Transfigure incapacitates us for 6 seconds, and as we take damage, we heal for 2.5 times that damage, that is mitigated, and gain immunity to stuns and binds for 15 seconds. Sacrifice damages our target and heals us for 25% of that damage, unless it kills the enemy, in which case it is 100% of the damage dealt. The Kitharid robes give us a small amount of prayer bonus, which will be useful eventually. There is a small thing we can do still. Let's go into the oratory and speak with Sister Cecilia.
Thank you for helping us, adventurer. I really thought I was going to die, but you saved us. Since you're here, adventurer, could I ask for your advice?
Of course.
The murders in the Abbey made me think about what I want to do with my life. I've been here since I was a child, and I thought I'd spend my whole life here. But now I'm not sure I want to. I could leave and become a secular musician. travel the world. But on the other hand, I do feel the presence of Saradomin here. And if I leave, I can never come back. What do you think I should do, adventurer?
I don't know what the best choice for Cecilia here is. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the strict system that abbeys typically adhere to. So on that alone, I'm going to say that she should leave the abbey. I don't necessarily think she should give up her religion. She could become a traveling preacher. She could do all sorts of stuff. She could go to Mauritania. I'm sure they are in desperate need for Saradominus preachers there to help with everything. You should leave the abbey.
Thank you, adventurer.
Beneath the abbey, if we quickly open this door, if we had several items that we will get later on, for example, most important of which is the Ring of Visibility from Desert Treasure, we need 6 pieces of acceptable Saradomin equipment. The Kitharid robes do count for that, so that's 3. And it's going to take us a fair bit to get the other 3. Our necklace slot is going to be consumed, or going to be occupied by the Ghost Speak amulet, the ring slot by the Ring of Visibility, as I mentioned earlier. So we would have to use something in the pocket foot. Here, let me open my equipment slot. The pocket, foot, gloves, our weapon and offhand slots, our ammo slot, cape slot. These are all what we would need to use for that. And over time, we'll collect that. And then we can come back for St. Elspeth's Holy Cathara, the one used in the tale. It is hard to put into words. I've spent the last 10 minutes rambling into my mic about this quest and all of its influences upon it and its influences upon me since I first discovered the song from Before the War on its release in 2011. I won't subject that to you, but I do hope you enjoyed this video. I've put a lot of work into this, and I do hope it was worth it to bring this story to life. Thank you everyone for watching, and hopefully we will continue before long.